Out front tonight, the breaking news, a CNN exclusive tonight out front. K-File has unearthed photos of Jeffrey Epstein that we've never seen, and they shed new light on his relationship with President Trump. The revelations come as Trump is under fire from his own base for his Justice Department's handling of the so-called Epstein files. Trump has tried, of course, to distance himself from Epstein every which way. But one of the photos that K-File...
Out front tonight, the breaking news, a CNN exclusive tonight out front. K-File has unearthed photos of Jeffrey Epstein that we've never seen, and they shed new light on his relationship with President Trump. The revelations come as Trump is under fire from his own base for his Justice Department's handling of the so-called Epstein files. Trump has tried, of course, to distance himself from Epstein every which way. But one of the photos that KF-File found confirms that Epstein actually attended Donald Trump's wedding to Mara Maples. And this is the proof. Again, this has never been published before, so this is a new image. You haven't seen it out there on X or anything like that. This is the proof that Epstein attended Trump's wedding at the Plaza Hotel in New York. And in the photo, what you see is Epstein entering the Plaza Hotel.
Trump has tried, of course, to distance himself from Epstein every which way. But one of the photos that K-File found confirms that Epstein...
The wedding date of this is December 20th, 1993, in the center of their friendship, which, of course, continued. And for comparison, we'll show you on the right a photo of Trump and Mara Maples at the same location. Now, jumping to February 2nd, 2026, things took a wild turn during a primetime interview on Fox News with Jesse Watters. This was supposed to be a safe space for Trump, right? But instead of a calm conversation, things got heated. Really heated. Trump lost his cool and started yelling at Watters, calling him weak and pathetic, while blaming him for poor ratings. It got pretty intense. And just as Trump was in the middle of his tirade, Fox News abruptly cut to commercials, citing technical difficulties and pretending there was a signal loss. Well, yeah, it is. Trump's wedding to Marla Maples in 1993 was dubbed the wedding of the century by the media at the time. And although we know that Trump and Epstein were friends during this period, this is really the first time that it's actually been reported that Trump invited Epstein to his wedding. This is, we should note, more than a decade before those first allegations of sex trafficking against Epstein.
Actually attended Donald Trump's wedding to Marla Maples. And this is the proof. Again, this has never been published before, so this is a new image. You haven't seen it out there on X or anything like that. This is the proof that Epstein attended Trump's wedding at the Plaza Hotel in New York. And in the photo, what you see is Epstein entering the Plaza Hotel.
But as you know, Trump's relationship with Epstein has been under the microscope recently. Now, besides that one photo of Epstein entering the reception at the Plaza Hotel, we can also see him in the background of another picture. That's Howard Stern on the far right, along with Robin Leach. Now, let's switch gears a bit. So, Fox News claimed they had technical difficulties during Trump's interview, which is why they cut to a commercial. But honestly, nobody is buying that excuse. Everyone knows what really happened. They pulled the feed because Trump was having quite the meltdown on live TV right in front of a huge audience. It wasn't just a little hiccup. It was a full-on embarrassing rant where Trump was attacking Jesse Watters, and Fox News decided they just couldn't keep broadcasting it. This moment is huge. It marks the first time even Trump's most steadfast media ally, the network that stands by him through thick and thin, decided enough was enough. Fox News realized they couldn't be associated with Trump's behavior any longer. They were preserving their credibility. And here's a kicker. This isn't even the first time they've cut away from him.
Well, yeah, it is. Trump's wedding to Marla Maples in 1993 was dubbed the wedding of the century by the media at the time. And although we know that Trump and Epstein were friends during this period, this is really the first time that it's actually been reported that Trump invited Epstein to his wedding. This is, we should note, more than a decade before those first allegations of sex trafficking against Epstein. But as you know, Trump's relationship with Epstein has been under the microscope recently. Now, besides that one photo of Epstein entering the reception at the Plaza Hotel, we can also see him in the background of another picture. That's Howard Stern on the far right, along with...
Back in 2024, they did the same thing during the Democratic National Convention coverage when things were getting dicey regarding Trump's performance and legal troubles. But that was years ago, back in 2024. So here's the thing. Fox News has cut off Trump again, but this time it's pretty interesting. It's not during some event coverage. Nope. This was right in the middle of an exclusive interview during prime time when lots of people are tuned in. And guess what? Trump was really going off on the host for asking him some perfectly reasonable questions. It's like Fox News is making a statement here saying they're not going to back Trump's behavior anymore. They've drawn a line and are saying, if you're going to act like this, you can't come on our network. Now, about the interview itself, Jesse Waters was trying to have what should have been a friendly chat with Trump. He was asking about some recent political issues like the Texas election loss and Rex victory. He even brought up that Fort Worth rally, which only pulled in around 900 people instead of the usual 6,000 plus. Waters mentioned Dan Patrick's pretty dramatic split from Trump as well. These are the kind of questions any journalist would ask, right? But Trump didn't see it that way. He got upset and thought Waters was being disloyal, blaming him for siding with the so-called rhinos and party traitors. In the middle of the interview, Trump went off and told Waters, "Jesse, you're killing us with this weak stuff," and criticized the network for how they were reporting. He even said Fox's ratings were tanking and seemed to pin that blame on Waters and the network itself. It's honestly hard to believe he said that out loud, attacking the host and the network right there during the interview. You know, it's honestly hard to believe how Trump handled himself during that recent interview. It really seemed like he was saying, if you question me, if you don't back me up all the way, then you're weak and a traitor and you're ruining the network. And all of this played out live on television, watched by millions of people. Just picture it. 10 million people tuning in and seeing Trump lose it on Jesse Waters during a Fox News segment. It looked like a sitting president having a total meltdown right before our eyes. Then at 8:42 p.m. Eastern Time, Fox News cut the feed right in the middle of the show. They went straight to a commercial break, and suddenly the whole thing was offline. They claimed there were technical difficulties, but honestly, everyone could see through that. It was clear they made a conscious decision to stop Trump from continuing his outburst. The producers at Fox News must have glanced at what was happening and thought, yep, this isn't going to look good. Afterward, Fox News came out with the usual explanation about signal loss, which is just their cover story. But insiders at the network are saying a different story entirely. They're reporting that it was Trump's rant that led to the cutoff, and that this wasn't just some random hiccup. It was a judgment call by the producers deciding they couldn't let Trump keep going and embarrass himself and the network further. And when you think about it, that's a pretty big move. Fox News stepping in against the sitting president of the United States, indicating they had enough of the chaos on air. So there's been a big shift happening with Fox News and how they handle Trump. And it's pretty noteworthy. We're not just talking about a single interview being cut off or a little technical hiccup. This moment shows a deliberate decision by Fox to draw a line when it comes to Trump's behavior. They've basically said, we're done broadcasting this. Now let's rewind a bit and look at the history between Fox News and Trump, because that background really helps explain why this change is such a big deal. For years, under Rupert Murdoch's leadership, Fox News has been like Trump's personal cheerleader. Hannity, Waters, and others have pretty much built their careers defending him. Their shows consistently pushed Trump's policies and celebrated his approach. In fact, Fox News gave Trump a platform like no other, acting as a megaphone for his messages, and it worked out well for both sides. Trump has often praised Fox, calling it the only honest network, and urged his supporters to tune in. Meanwhile, Fox benefited hugely from the Trump effect. He brings in the ratings, the viewers, and the engagement. But in recent days, things have started to feel different. We've seen Fox News, particularly through their editorial boards, start to take a more critical stance on Trump, voicing concerns about his immigration policies and how he governs. This shift has become increasingly visible, indicating that the old dynamic may not be as solid as it once was. So I was watching the other day, and it was pretty striking to see how Fox News is shifting its approach. They've started to press Trump with tougher questions, moving from being his biggest fan to actually challenging him. It's like we're witnessing a subtle breakup where Fox News is gradually creating some distance from Trump. And then the other day, they even cut off his feed during a live interview, which is a pretty bold turn from their usual dynamic. People are buzzing about why this is happening now. Rupert Murdoch, the big guy at Fox, has had his share of legal troubles involving Trump, particularly with issues related to Epstein, which certainly adds some tension to their relationship. I mean, it must be a messy situation. And distancing himself from Trump might be a way for Murdoch to safeguard both his legal standing and his business. Then there's the whole business angle. At the end of the day, Murdoch is all about the profits and power. It seems likely he's looking at Trump and thinking he's becoming a bit of a liability. Trump has been attracting negative attention and stirring up chaos, which isn't doing Fox any favors. Murdoch, being the shrewd businessman he is, could be weighing the risks and deciding it's in his best interest to step back a bit from Trump to protect his own brand. And let's not overlook the upcoming elections, only 9 months away now. Murdoch has a vested interest in Republican success. And right now, he might feel that Trump isn't helping the party's chances. If anything, Trump seems to be dragging down candidates and creating a lot of chaos that could affect Republican turnout. So given all this, it's not surprising that Murdoch might think it's time to detach himself from Trump and reassess his political positioning. So it seems like Fox News is starting to change its tune when it comes to Donald Trump. There's this whole mix of legal troubles, business worries, and political strategy that might be pushing Rupert Murdoch to shift the network's stance. Maybe it's time for him to explore aligning himself with a new candidate or considering a role as a reasonable voice amid the chaos. As the Republican Party looks for fresh leadership, distancing from Trump could position him well with that new leader down the line. Things have gotten to the point where Fox News is actively cutting Trump off during live interviews. They aren't just tuning in, they're refusing to show his rants or his angry remarks. This treatment is making it pretty clear that Fox News views Trump's behavior as unstable and unacceptable. It's a pretty big statement from them, saying they can't be associated with how he acts anymore. They're definitely drawing a line. Now, about that recent interview with Jesse Waters, it was supposed to be a friendly chat, considering Waters has been one of Trump's supporters over the years, but he did his job as a journalist by asking some tough questions about recent political happenings. He brought up the Texas special election where a Democrat, Taylor Redmond, flipped a district that used to be a solid Republican stronghold. He also questioned why the Republican candidate did so poorly in a district Trump had previously won by 17 points. Then there was the Fort Worth rally that only attracted 900 people instead of the usual 6,000 or 7,000. And, of course, Waters asked about Dan Patrick's very public break from Trump and his criticisms of Trump's interference in Texas politics, all valid questions that any journalist worth their salt should be asking. But Trump didn't handle it well. He got angry and clearly wasn't interested in answering. It's honestly hard to believe what happened during that interview. Trump decided to go after Waters on air, accusing him of being disloyal and siding with the party traitors and the rhinos. He wasn't holding back, telling Waters he was killing us with this weak stuff. Trump claimed that the coverage was weak and blamed Waters for poor ratings, saying that it has all tanked because he wasn't defending Trump strongly enough. It's pretty wild to think about. Here's Trump attacking his own host on the host's own network. He's not just going after Waters. He's pointing fingers at the network for the ratings drop. But let's be real, those ratings issues stem from Trump's own scandals, chaotic behavior, and legal troubles. He essentially makes it sound like if you dare to question him or ask tough questions, you're weak or even a traitor, harming the network in the process. This kind of expectation for total loyalty and no criticism is what has sparked serious trouble for Trump. It's driven folks away, caused attorneys to bail because they can't defend him ethically, and pushed party leaders to distance themselves to avoid association. The media is also stepping back, unwilling to be mere propagandists who can't ask the tough questions. People want to hold leaders accountable, and when Trump lashes out at those seeking the truth, it creates a rift. When he demands absolute support and no questioning, That's when people start to walk away. This moment when Fox News cut Trump's feed live on television signifies a lot more than just an angry outburst or a minor technical issue. This is a crucial moment we're witnessing in his ongoing issues and has major implications not just for him, but for the Republican Party and the upcoming midterms in 2026. It's pretty wild to see how Trump's relationship with the media has completely fallen apart. This marks the end of his grip on getting his message out through the very outlets that should have been in his corner. It's ironic that he's being silenced by Fox News, the network that was meant to be his biggest supporter and platform. This really is a turning point that could have huge consequences moving forward. Let's break it down. From Fox News' standpoint, this feels like a major betrayal. Trump has leaned on Fox News for years, relying on them to defend and promote him while providing the kind of coverage he wanted. He's used Fox as his main loudspeaker to connect with his supporters, continually turning to them to shape the narrative in his favor. Obviously, he relied on them to boost his message and to attack his rivals while defending his own actions. And Fox News did its part by giving him a lot of airtime and coverage. But now that partnership is basically done. Fox News is cutting him off. They've stopped broadcasting his rants and are treating him more like an unstable figure who shouldn't be on air. That's a dramatic shift and marks the end of a critical alliance for him. He's really lost his strongest media ally. Moreover, this is going to hit Trump's ability to connect with his supporters hard. His base primarily gets their news from Fox News, watches their coverage, and takes cues from what they say. They trust Fox more than many other outlets. If Fox News stops giving Trump airtime or frames him in a negative way, he's losing that vital direct link to his followers. He's losing the means to reach people directly and communicate with them effectively. This loss of his prime platform can be a catastrophic blow to his political power and influence. Without Fox News backing him, the access to millions of viewers is slipping away fast. You can really see how Trump's voice has become a lot weaker lately, which is pretty interesting. It's almost like his message just doesn't hit the same way anymore, making it harder for him to sway people and steer the narrative. Instead of being the loud voice that everyone pays attention to, he's blended into the background noise, just another opinion among many. When a powerhouse like Fox News decides to cut him off, that sends a clear message. They're openly questioning him and not just broadcasting his rants anymore. This kind of move opens the door for other media outlets to follow suit. They see Fox News being critical and think, hey, we can do that too. We don't have to act like Trump can do no wrong. It's perfectly fine for us to ask tough questions and report facts, not just pump out propaganda. This shift really changes the game and influences how media operates. It gets harder for Trump to control how he's perceived, while also giving critics a better chance to call him out without being labeled biased by his supporters. And then there's the impact on the Republican Party. When Fox News starts cutting ties with Trump, it makes a strong statement that it's okay for other Republicans to do the same. It hints that Trump's days as the party leader might be numbered. Politicians in the GOP definitely pay attention to what Fox News is saying and doing. If they're calling Trump unstable and unfit, it plants seeds of doubt in Republican minds. Suddenly, they might think twice about supporting him or even start looking for a new leader for the future of the party. This accelerates the shift away from Trump significantly. Lastly, we have to consider what all this means for Trump's brand and image. His whole political persona has been crafted around appearing strong, in control, and always coming out on top. Without that, it's tough for him to maintain that commanding presence. You know, Trump has always projected this image of strength and control, like he's totally winning and dominating every situation. It's a big part of his appeal to supporters. But then something interesting happens when he gets cut off on live television, especially by a network that's supposed to be friendly like Fox News. It completely shatters that image of power. It honestly makes him look weak and a bit unstable. And you can't help but laugh at the irony of it all. Here's someone who's all about being in control, yet he can't even manage to finish his thoughts without being silenced. This incident really damages his brand, and I can't help but think it'll have some serious ripple effects in politics. People will start questioning his ability to lead and whether he's even fit to be president anymore. It's almost like a gift to the Democrats who are surely watching this unfold.